The Isle of Skye is the heart of the Inner Hebrides, stretching just 50 miles from north to south and 25 miles from east to west. It is located on the west coast of Scotland. In recent years, tourism on the Isle of Skye has grown to an all-time high. In 2017, Portree, the capital of Skye, alone had 55,000 international visitors. Skye as a whole had 118,000 domestic visitors. The 2011 census found there to be a population of 10,000 people living on Skye. The limited amount of roads and the vulnerable abundance of wildlife suits this small population well. Tourists on Skye add up to way over 10 times the population of the people who live there. But what are the main reasons for this growth in tourism? What part does this tourism play in the island's economy? What effect is it having on the island? So why has tourism on the island grown? A number of factors affect this change, such as travel. There are multiple ways to get to Skye. A number of ferries take travellers straight to the island. The Mallaig to Armadale ferry departs from the mainland. This is most commonly taken by tourists, as it's a shortcut from crossing Skye's bridge. The two other ferries depart from the Isle of Skye and the Western Isles. Sailing over 2 times per day, these ferries transport people and their cars, vans and motorhomes, making travelling over to Skye easier than ever. Travelling by ferry is most certainly a common choice, however not the most common. Skye Bridge was built in 1995. It was built to keep up with the increasing number of visitors and to ease the life of the locals with their everyday errands. Previous to the bridge was a ferry service, which had a similar route as the bridge but was much less reliable. The bridge has been a great asset to many who travel to and from the island. The bridge being built due to a high number of visitors means that tourism plays a part in the developments on the island. The attractions that Skye offers are vast and uniquely unchanging. The Old Man of Storr, which is located on the east of Skye, is host to many visitors per year. But what brings them to the island?
We love Scotland. I think it's my 4 times in Scotland. We come to Skye. We are whiskey drinkers. We visit lots of distilleries.
The Isle of Skye looked like it had great attractions for mountain climbing and good scenery. We saw the Kilt
Rock, and we're going to ferry pools next.
Yeah.
Like, it's dramatic. I guess it's something that you need to do in
Scotland. We drink whiskies and we visit lots of distilleries all time, and that is our hobby.
These point in the ferry pools there.
Yeah, like just enjoy the view and nature.
I think the friendly people in Scotland.
I think the scenery.
Yeah.
The natural,
It's-
the undeveloped.
Yeah.
I guess it's because of the movies.
So, the Isle of Skye has a variety of attractions that bring visitors from all over the globe. Movies like Prometheus in 2012,
Dr. Holloway! Charlie!
Breaking the Waves in 1996, and Highlander in 1986. All feature the island and thus raises its notoriety. Whiskey distilleries, as mentioned, greatly benefits the island's economy because of its tourism. Bringing in a seismic £4.2 billion into the UK economy, Scotland's whiskey industry is a valuable economic counterpart. Talisker, being one of the most popular single malt brands in the UK, contributes greatly to this. Social media is underestimated in terms of its ability to spread exposure over holiday and travelling destinations. YouTube is a prominent platform that demonstrates this. Harry Styles' music video, Sign of the Times, is set on the Isle of Skye. The music video has reached over 500 million views. Due to the music video's popularity, viewers have become set on copious amounts of online articles, websites and social media posts promoting the Isle of Skye as a bucket list location. This platform of sharing ignites and intrigues people into visiting Skye. The online websites will more than likely lead to sites in which to book accommodation, travel and experiences. These sales boost the Scottish economy greatly. It's estimated that tourism accounts for 5% of Scotland's gross domestic profit, and with the instant sharing of social media, this number will only increase. Stuart Dorber resides in the south of Skye. Stuart has kindly offered to share his thoughts of tourism on the island.
I'm a wildlife expert, I'm a wildlife tour guide, and I combine that with my skills as a wildlife photographer and filmmaker. My wife and me moved up in 2009, so we've been here almost 10 years now. The main reason I found southwest England getting very busy for a wildlife photographer, and the amount of competition within the industry. I needed to make a change on my subject and my portfolio, so I mainly moved up here because there's eagles here. Skye's got a good population of golden and white-tailed sea eagles. It's also got a good population of otters and unique other Scottish land and sea animals. So for a photographer, it's an amazing place. Skye has, as an island, it only has a certain capacity. I mean, the population should be healthy at around about 10,000. There's a lot of key issues that could backfire for the people who benefit and work here on the island. Skye can only take so much. That includes the landscape and the wildlife. I mean, I might be biased because I'm a wildlife photographer. I'm trying to protect my livelihood, but I think there's a lot of other people in different spectrums that either have concerns or have prospects that are either a positive or a negative angle on how is Skye going to cope in the next 10 years. Skye has this unique quality about it still, that the main reason I came up to Skye is because it has these tested environments. It's a fantastic place to be, no matter what the season, and the wildlife, I'm hoping, is always going to have sanctuary here. For me, as a wildlife photographer, if I don't have the wildlife, then there's nothing here for me. In the last 5 years, now Skye being more popular, either through films, TV advertising, we're getting worldwide interest of different nationalities who want to come to Scotland, and they see Skye as an easy access area now to see the Hebrides. It's a drive on, drive off situation where they can do it in a day. And what happens is, especially in the height of summer, the visitor numbers have now almost tripled, if not quadrupled. So you're having more people visit, you're having more people not understand that there is a countryside code. They don't know if people that may be necessarily working in the outdoors, like forestry, deer stalking, farming. We've had issues with people's dogs attacking livestock because people don't understand that if they have their dogs off the lead, that their dogs can roam up to half a mile away from themselves, and then that can come into conflict with livestock like lambs and vulnerable sheep. It can spook the deer during the stalking season. People can get in between the stalks, which makes it unsafe for the people walking, and also wastes the deer stalkers' time. We have problems with people lighting wildfires that can get out of control and create quite a large, substantial moorland fire, which we've had last summer. We had 2 moorland fires that were started by campers through cigarette ends just being thrown out of a window, or for people making a campfire in places where, especially if it's above a peat area, and it spreads, and then obviously that does damage to people's land. It does damage to the environment. Has knock-on effects with wildlife like ground nesting birds, grouse, snakes, lizards. The ecosystem is then damaged because of the intense heat, and it could take up to 20 years for that moorland to sustain a good, healthy wildlife environment. When I started up my own business, I had the aspect of creating a business which environmentally would be friendly towards not just the wildlife but to the environment, and for a chance of small groups, which that's what I do, is take small groups of people. I can give it more a personal approach, and for them to have a better experience where I can just look after that small group. So the main aspect is that when I take people out to show them the wildlife, I show them how to look for the wildlife through fieldcraft, where the animals will be, and then how to approach those animals in a responsible way. What we're seeing is with the bigger operators is, especially with new groups of say people who possibly use the hills and coastal environments, is that the wildlife does have an effect of too much activity in one area. Like a group of kayakers that continuously go to an island where there's seals. They get too close to the seals because they don't understand that animals have a fear circle. So what I'm seeing locally in the area where I do my work is that the seals are slowly getting very fed up with the amount of disturbance that they're getting from people who are using the water. Basically, I'm seeing less and less seals that are resting during the day on the rocks because of the disturbance levels. I think if they had the attitude when they come to visit this island, they are visiting, they're visitors, but there's people here that maybe encouraging that. Look, they've got small businesses, so if people will actually spend more in local businesses instead of actually just bringing everything with them that they need, like a motorhome. You know, people depend on tourism here. Whatever they do through their own businesses of crafts or tourism or galleries or whatever business they have, is that if people can actually contribute while they're visiting here to taste the island life in a way that benefits the local people and the environment. Skye has this essence of magic, and that can easily get removed and the magic taken away for not just the visitors but for also the people that want to live here, because Skye is a beautiful place. You don't want it overrun like Blackpool Beach.
Stuart has thoughtfully offered to show a part of what his role as a photographer entails.
Top of the hill just to check the eagle's nest that the pair are occupying the area, that they're happy and the behaviour is normal. Come Easter time, there might be more visitors on the hill than usual, and if they get too close to the nest, that can have implications for an eagle that is sitting on her eggs.
While this quad is tough and robust, the boggy area on this hill means for the two people travelling up it, one will have to walk. Though in clear areas, two is fine.
I'm just going to check this hill here. It's an observation point for me that I'm safe enough away from the eagles to realise what their potential is of nesting this year. Right. And then as we get through the busier times of the year, I can assess how busy the hill is with hill walkers and activity, and how happy the eagles are with having an influx and increasing numbers of people on the island. The gamekeeper supplies me with any unwanted deer carcasses that we use from deer stalking. So we put that out for the eagles to sustain them through the winter months. It's basically bait, but it sustains them through cold winters. Helps me with my photography, and it gets the eagles a little bit closer for me to assess how they are and the possibility of getting pictures.
Tourism on the Isle of Skye can be a nuisance on wildlife and local living. However, their economic contribution to the island is greatly beneficial. Most of the tourists and locals on Skye have an unpremeditated, symbiotic relationship. They rely on each other and therefore should show a mutual understanding to one another. Because the Isle of Skye is a wondrous place with an abundance of activities to see and do. Respect for the island is essential for it to carry on being a place like no other in the UK.